This week, I am just taking some stuff. I'm going straight back to basics. My green screen, I lost my background, so I've got to find that. So we're just on the plain green screen. I made it back in time, last second, plugged in the camera, got everything working. We are good to go. I'm going to give you an introduction to what the heck is going on with CueCam Presenter, cards, presentations, and a little bit more. Alright, this is Squares TV App Lab 70. I broke picture in picture. Hey Jeff, I made it. Hope you had a great flight. I did have a great flight, it was good. This is Squares TV App Lab 70, where we talk about video, pencil, shoot, and CueCam Presenter. This is a lab on After Hours, and it's going out live on YouTube, and that music stopped abruptly. And we're going to be like just doing some of that fit and finish that I haven't got around to. It's going to happen soon. I'm Michael Forrest. I make stuff. I also make like music and stuff. This is my music website, thismf.art. And here we go. This was the journey. Sorry, that auto played. This is us. So I thought I'd like show you my day. So this was about 6 hours ago, maybe 7 hours ago, and we were just on the train in Milan. He's looking cute. He's looking a bit too cute. And then here's takeoff. And whoop, so daisy. Up we are in the air. And then we were in the air over Italy. And then we were over the Alps. Isn't that nice? And then here's Edinburgh coming down. You can see Arthur's seat there. Up there, coming down over Edinburgh, and then it was just a frantic run through to try and get home in time to present to you this live stream. And yes, sorry, this is not quite lined up. Let's just bring this in a little bit on the camera. I had to sort of, there we go, that's better. It's still got a little bit of a crease, but that's much better. Rightio. What are we talking about today? So I've been doing loads of stuff on the documentation website. And so I've got this sort of waterfall process now where I write a documentation on Coda. It creates a doc on the website. So everything I'm talking about, you can just find on the website, cuecam-presenter.com/docs. And then also now I can synchronize them to be CueCam scripts. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm just going to take some of those first ones and just go through them and just talk you through the very basics as I've sort of put it together with some pictures. So what's first? First up is, what is a CueCam presentation? And what we have to make sure is that let's go. Jump to doc. What is a CueCam presentation? Hey, that worked. Sorry, I'm still amazed when my jump to a different doc works. Because it relies on some weird indexing and stuff, because I have to tell the system where each card is on which file, and so that's how it knows to jump. So if the index gets broken, I need a better way. I don't know a better way of doing it without actually going to the server, without going to the website. Anyway, this is a basic session. We don't need to be talking about servers and workflows and waterfall processes. We need to be talking about CueCam Presenter, the app that I'm using to present to you. John, your audio is coming through to me. John During is playing audio into my ear. This is the danger of doing something on a Zoom call. Right, what is a CueCam present? Apology accepted. Thank you. Right, listen, right, okay, right, what's a CueCam presentation? I need to sort of calm down and get zen and take you through this slowly, because this is, we're at risk of rushing through it like I always do. So CueCam Presenter, that's what I'm using to show this to you today. That's how I'm bringing in the videos and the title sequence and the music and the titles, and I'm drawing and I'm showing sparkles. It's all CueCam and Video Pencil. And it's in my teleprompter. But what is a CueCam presentation? Well, a CueCam presentation is a sequence of smart cue cards. A CueCam presentation is a sequence of smart cue cards. I'm going to look at you while I talk instead of going, is this working? Is this working? Is that working? Yeah. Smart cue cards. What's a smart cue card? What is this? Okay? So what are we looking at here? This is sort of my attempt to show stuff. And I'm just going to ask you, John, can you please mute yourself on Zoom? Because I'm hearing everything. Right. So, I'll take you through this. So, it has this little play button on the side. So this is something I use all the time, but it might not be obvious. This presents this card. So that's what the play button does. It just immediately moves it to your teleprompter and its content to your virtual camera. Then we've got number 2 is the text area here, which I will highlight. So here's some text. And the special thing about this text is this is just for the teleprompter. So what you want to say into your camera is how you kind of put this text in. So I'm going to say DNA is the genetic material that makes up all living things. It contains the instructions for how an organism grows and functions. I'm going to be able to say that with great confidence into the camera because I can see it in my teleprompter. I know what I've got to say. The next thing we have is these is an inline image and a couple of tags. So what we've got here is so down here. So I keep forgetting where the spotlight feature is. So these are sort of like, this is content that's on the card that's also going to come through to the teleprompter. And you can tell that it's going to come through to the teleprompter because it is very, very pink. My picture-in-picture I see is disappearing sorry, we're going to have picture-in-picture bugs today, I'm afraid. Because I know where it is in the code. I touched something. Right, so these are the sort of things that are going to come through to the screen. So this is a picture called dna.jpg, and that's tagged with an exclamation mark. And this is a title, number 4, and you can see it's got this little tag. So basically, if we tag text with a hash or different characters, there's a few different ones you can use. They're going to be turned into titles, and it's going to show a picture in the presentation. And then, as you can see, so if you wanted 2 pictures, you can just have 2 of those tags. A slide title has those leading hashes. You can put more hashes if you want it to be smaller. And then up in the top right here, this is where all the attachments and triggers live. So I actually do want, I kind of, at some point I'm going to make this is weird that this is in 2 places. I still haven't quite figured out how to make that clickable in the way that I want it to be clickable without messing up the text editing. But yeah, but for everything else that's not an inline text image, then this is where these, your things kind of stack up here. So if you've got some music starts, that's going to appear as a thing here with a little music icon. If you've got a background image or a video, that's going to have that's going to appear up there. And then you've got the add button, which is how you add new things. And you don't have to remember all of the different tags, right? You don't have to remember, hash is this and caret is this. It's all in that menu. So if you're me, an expert, you kind of know what all the things are because you've been using it for a while. You can just type it on the keyboard much faster. But if you don't, literally just click the thing. And there's different keyboard shortcuts and things, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I need a good document. There's a load of keyboard shortcuts in CueCam that I haven't probably not documented. Some of them you can find in the menus. Just have a look because there's quite a few bits and bobs, but even something like the up and down arrow key, I made that work in CueCam too, and it just feels a lot more natural. The content menu, when you click on it, it scrolls. This might not be obvious to you when you first click on it. The content menu scrolls, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So here we see all the different types of content you can add in there. Before that, we saw all of things like You can add a second camera. You can add a video background. You can generate an image. You can add a video. You can share an app, share a window, share a connected iOS device, play some music, OSC triggers, start recording, finish recording. Like there's loads of little bits and bobs in there. If you just want to do it from the add menu, but there's also there's also the layout menu that lets you kind of see visually a bit more what that's going to look like. But you can drag these cards around. You can drag onto cards, and they also have a context menu if you right click. So just to show you that, like there's sort of different areas of the cards, and I think this sort of shows. So if you're sort of selecting the text, you're going to get the text, but sort of anywhere that's not kind of like the text, you're going to get the right click menu and the ability to drag it. So here you see I'm to start with there, like you see if I sort of drag not on the text, the cursor, so when we're over the text, the cursor is the editor thing. When we're not over the text, the cursor is just a normal cursor. And like I could have made it, I think this looks cleaner, like maybe I could have made this more visually obvious, but I feel like the cursor changing should be enough to let you know, and it keeps things looking a bit clearer overall. But yeah, if your cursor is an arrow, so if it's a caret and you right click, you're going to get a load of text editing stuff, copy paste text, like select all that kind of, move to end, all that kind of stuff. But if you are over here, then you're going to get sort of like the ability to drag the card, but also you're going to get a right click menu. So you see, like I can drag the card, but if I'm over there, and then if I click on that other stuff, yeah, that's the right click menu there. So I can insert a card before, copy a card, duplicate a card. So whatever's selected. So you've got all these different things you can do on cards in that menu. You just have to sort of click outside the text bit. And then of course up here, like this actually, like I think it showed the wrong cursor, but like all these are clickable as well with like the main mouse button. So yeah, just remember that like there's a whole sort of thing on the edges of the cards that makes them drag and drop, right click, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, the preview area is to the right of your list of cards, and any changes to the content will show up, will be sort of previews there. Let's see. I synced these very quickly this morning. So I want to show you this. So I'm just going to do a screen share to show you this right now. So this is, show the desktop because my desktop is the wrong desktop. Let's go share displays. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. So if we come here, so if we are on here, hello, right, and if we add a title, hello, right, we're going to see that previewed up there. But like there's two modes to this. You can see here, you've got the editor and the virtual camera. So the editor is just like a preview of what you're doing, but the virtual camera is like what's currently going out now. So you see that went into a feedback loop because this is what you're seeing. Whereas this sort of like you can just sort of like look at the cards and kind of make the changes. So it's just something to be aware of, that like stuff you're doing here is when you press start is going to go to the virtual camera, whereas this is sort of the editor. And you can like do your, sort of pick a slide, add some pictures, do all the different stuff. And you can just treat this like, this is just like a text editor. You can just move stuff about. And then of course you have got like I'm not seeing eCam scenes. Like if eCam's running, you should see the eCam scenes, but it's definitely triggering them, but I wonder why it's not showing them. But anyway, yeah, so running a presentation, it's basically when you press start on that big pink button is when the preview editor gets replaced with the view of your virtual camera, and like it says that we're going live. And then this is sort of what it did look like when you went live. I want to make that live and red again. But yeah, so you see this is the currently presented card. You see it's got a big border around it. You see DNA.jpg, DNA.jpg. The double helix of DNA, the double helix of DNA. You see this attachment. You can click on that and like change the image to something else. And loads of stuff works here with drag and drop as well. And then, yeah, once you're in live mode, this is your webcam preview. But the thing is, like, the way I see this is I kind of don't necessarily jump straight to the virtual camera when in CueCam. I kind of like give you this editor view because for a start, like I don't want to be like running the virtual webcam all the time because it does add a bit of overhead, and I like to kind of like power it down when it's not important that it's being used. But also, I generally like you're going to be able to see your webcam preview either in your teleprompter window or like in your Zoom call or like wherever you're actually using CueCam. You're going to have a preview of the webcam. So like we don't need to have previews everywhere, and this is sort of an opportunity to have a bit of separation and have something that's a bit different. Hey Lorenzo, welcome. So yeah, that I mean, so yeah. But what was the question? What is a CueCam presentation? It is a sequence of these smart cue cards. Those cards can have teleprompter text. They can have attachments that will be included in the presentation. Here you see I'm running a live presentation. I can see my teleprompter stuff, but usually you'd put that in a window and have that sort of so that you can look into the camera. And of course, you know, when you go live, you're going to get the dashboard over here on the right, so you can sort of adjust your camera, share, you know, sort of do like real-time stuff. So that's basically what a CueCam presentation is. So the next thing we're going to talk about is like so I talk sometimes about cards and slides. And so the next thing I wanted to talk about was like, what is a card and what is a slide? So let's find out. So a card, the basics of a card is text for your. So think about this as what do you want to say? Like the best, most simple way to use CueCam is just for your teleprompter. What am I going to say next? What am I going to say next? So a card starts as something you're typing to remind you what to say to your teleprompter, remind you what segment you're in, what interview question you want to ask next. What's your kind of like. Yeah, like just to remind yourself what you're doing today, so that you're more confident, you're more direct, you're more organized, like it's tighter. So you can do a live stream, but it doesn't have as much of this kind of like umming and ahhing and looking, you know, not. So you see, like today, I did not, you know. You can tell the difference between the presentations I've spent a bit longer on. Like last week's, I think I spent a bit longer on. A couple of weeks ago when I did the CueCam 2 one, you could see I'd spent a whole day on that one because I was just able to like bang through a lot of content very quickly because I had it all just coming through to my teleprompter. Today I've sort of like thrown together some stuff that was on the website because I was traveling all day, and yeah, it was hard. And yesterday was my birthday, and so I was doing some different stuff yesterday, and like Monday I was I'm in Italy, and it's all it's all a bit different at the moment. So I didn't want to have too much overhead for today, so I just sort of took some stuff down from the website. So that's why it's a bit looser than it might be sometimes. But yeah, a card is text. Hello, my name is Michael, and today I'm here to talk about CueCam Presenter. That is what a card is, right? That's like the basics of a card. And then, like, you sort of create a slide by tagging text in it. Like, so you see, I've changed that. So you see what the difference is there. I've sort of like, okay, my name's Michael. That's just going to be for me. But I can sort of use the same thing, but just put a line break here, put a little hash in front of Michael, and today I'm here to, like, I can still have the same sentence, but now I only have to type it once and say it once, but now it's also like putting that word up on the screen as well. And just think how powerful and kind of like efficient and like easy, like sort of non-repetitive that is to do. Like if you had to sort of have everything twice or like think about what's what, this you can just sort of literally just type, go, okay, I want this to be a title, so I'm just going to like put it on a new line, put a hash in front of it. There it is, it's on the screen. So then that creates what I call a slide, which is the content that appears on screen. A slide is made up of text, images, videos, but also like beyond something like Keynote, it's screen shares. I mean, Keynote does cameras, a second camera as well. But like, I think screen shares, I'm worried next week is the Apple Keynote and the Apple WWDC. And I'm a bit worried if they do like screen sharing in Keynote, because that's one of them. I think we've got loads of stuff that they haven't got for this. I think CueCam is doing a different thing, but sometimes I'm like, Apple could just add a virtual camera to Keynote. And yeah. Anyway, a slide is made up. I'm getting very distracted, aren't I? I need to chill. What's a slide? It's made up of text, images, videos, screen shares, and a second camera. So yeah, you can tag your text. It appears on the slide, and here we are. So here you can see I tagged that text, and then I got the text on the screen. And you can see that's in the slide layout of a lower third, and that's why it's down the bottom. So we've got different layouts we can use. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, so you can see in the card menu, we've got these different possible sort of basically alignment modes. So like lower third, on the right, on the left. So rather than kind of giving you complete free like text boxes everywhere and making you kind of design those slides, I let you just write the text and then just sort of intelligently lay that out depending on how much text there is, what kind of text it is. It just lets you kind of like think about what you're saying, and then just like you're not spending a lot of time trying to lay it out. You just sort of have a couple of options and you pick the one that makes sense to you. So text and images are arranged, yeah, as I say, according to that setting. How do slide images work? Well, we have two different kinds of slide images. One is inline images, so images that appear in the body of the slide, and then you have a background image is the other mode, which just takes up the whole slide. And so if you were to just bring in your Keynote slides or your PowerPoint slides, you could just have those as a sequence of background full screen slides and just like use them as is. You can literally just export images, drag them into CueCam in one go. It will just like find them, put them all as background images. You can just run through that with very minimal effort. But I like the inline ones because they appear with me still, right? Like a background sort of takes over, and maybe you're picture in picture down there, but it's nice to sort of still be on the screen, and that's what the inline images are about. So this is a slide with a background image. So the background image is there, and then two inline images. So you can actually add like as many as you want, and it will sort of like adjust them accordingly. And then the way to add a background image, these you can do with the plus button, but you can actually drag, like I showed you before, like the card has the text area. If you drag it into the text area, the cursor becomes a little caret thing. Caret is that thing. No, a caret is that. Is that a caret too? Answers in chat. But yeah, if you know the card has like the sort of the card area and the text area. If you drag it onto the other area, the card will say you are dragging in a cat. It will highlight the whole thing in green. You'll know what's happening, and that's going to make it sort of take over the background. And then you can also like turn background images into inline images using the editor. Let me just show you that quickly. Again, we'll zoom in. So here we've got like a card here. Can we get in a bit closer? Let's come to here. So we've got a card here. It's got the text hello. It's got this 3D chart. It's got a slide title. It's got some slide bullet text. Say we decide we want this chart to be full screen. Click it here. Move to background. There's actually a keyboard shortcut for that as well. Command Alt B. I'm just going to press that. And now that's a background. But like, just please, when you're doing this, like I've tried to make it not ugly by default, right? But if you see something like this, look, this text is clashing with this. Just like, do me a favor and like put that text down the bottom. You can either click the I keep clicking on the thing on my teleprompter instead of on the document. Let's do it. So you can just open up that card sidebar, for example, and just put that down the bottom. Look. And then actually, like, this is kind of light, so let's change it to dark. I don't like this. Just try and, like, not have text covering over other... Oh, that looks really ugly, doesn't it? We should probably get rid of that shadow when it's... There shouldn't be a shadow there. Right, so you see, slide bullet text, put that down the bottom, try and make that look nice. Maybe that doesn't need to be bullet. Maybe that can be title. Maybe we can try some different stuff, you know. So, yeah, you can promote the images, or you can... You can also, and the advantage of the background images, they actually all go into this drop down here. So if you've got like a background that you want to use across multiple slides, you can just like go to the next card and like select it from the drop down. So yeah, that's another top tip for you. I'm going to see what the thing was. The caret. Yeah, no, I know that's a caret, but I think that's like a text caret as well. It just naturally to my mind, like I think that's called it. Anyway. Anyway, you can use background images to show as full screen content or something to appear behind your other stuff. And also they can be set to fit or cover. So there's also another thing in there, like there's a, I keep zooming out again. So there's a fit or cover. So if I wanted to make sure you can definitely see all of it, I would put it to fit, and then it would have like maybe bars across the side or top and bottom. If you do fill, then it's just going to like cover the whole thing no matter what, and that sometimes that makes more sense if you want a background. And yeah, like what else can you have on a card? You can also have triggers. So I've told you about all the slide stuff that can be on a card, but we can also have triggers that can trigger various actions inside CueCam or in other applications. So you can add triggers using the plus button, same as the other thing. And these can be all sorts of different things, right? Like I said, like you can have your sort of like, yeah, once we get down here to triggers, I mean, music is technically a trigger, but here, like open a website, you can do that. Add a keystroke. You can literally like add a keystroke trigger. Click on that, like click in that box and go, I want Command K to be sent to ChatGPT, right? When I land on this card. Think about the possibilities of that trigger. Like, so the reason I originally did it was, you know, I have someone that's doing demos in Chrome with different like user profiles signed in to different sort of Chrome profiles. And you can actually switch Chrome profiles with a keyboard shortcut. So if he wants to sort of jump to his presentation, go to the next profile, he can just send a keyboard shortcut to Chrome and it will switch to the right profile. Doesn't have to do it. Like it just kind of happens automatically. Add the text, add the different stuff. We've got like, what else is down here? Like jump to a document is what I'm using today to sort of like jump around. OSC is a way of controlling other software. Like you can send like sort of messages and all of these things. When you click them, you get a little pop up. So this is the image one, right? This is the keyboard editor one. This is actually all the triggers. So here, okay, here's my OSC trigger. I want to send camera set main, right? And I want to send this to what app? You can actually like, you can sort of like add. I mean, let's not get into the weeds of OSC, but like I don't even make you kind of. You can actually define the apps that you're sending messages to, so that you can just select which one it's sending it to in a drop down instead of having to sort of like remember what port each one is on and all that kind of stuff. And so this is how, yeah, like, but then a video has a pop up like this. So this is how you control sort of like what the end action is. Does it loop? What's the volume? Does it mute the mic? Does it mute the video? How do you can replace it? So you get all these actions in the pop-ups. So you see, I just clicked down there and I got this menu. So they all have their own sort of special editors. Some have a lot on them. Some don't have very much at all. But like I will expand stuff as time goes on. But you can also use the card sidebar to edit everything as well. So what this will, so whereas clicking on that will give you just the one thing, this will give you sort of all the things that are on that card, configuration for everything that's on that card. I wonder if can I move this across? Let's try. Yeah, so I'll just move this out of the way. So this is, you can see exactly the same stuff, the video thing. You can see the like the alignment stuff, and then there'll be more stuff down there. You can just scroll down. So you've got card, dock, dashboard there. So yeah. And the next thing I wanted to talk about, feel free to jump in with questions. I know I always tend to sort of bang through this stuff quite quickly. I'm trying not to get too distracted, but I don't know, there's just so much to talk about. I'm trying to sort of stay on the rails, but I wanted to tell you about how to make a lower third next. So, you can make really simple, really easy to edit lower thirds by just adding text and or images into a card. So here is my lower third for me. If I want to show my guest and it's CueCam, well, in eCam, like we could do other stuff, but like usually it's just going to be my lower third. So I can put an image, I can put like multiple lines of text, and I can just type that into the card. Like I don't have to go somewhere else, you know, I can just put it on the card, drag it on the card, done. So the easiest way to do this is probably to actually use the title and icon. Actually, I could even make that say lower third, but that just gives you like a placeholder icon, placeholder title, and you can start from there. And here you can customize that text. So like here you can edit that presentation title or whatever, and you can click. You have to click up here to change the icon, or you can just drag a different one in. So yeah, just customize the text and just the tags make it a title. So if you delete the tag by accident, undo, or find the right one. And as I said, like you can click that icon to replace it. You see there's a nice blue replace button there if you want to change that for a different icon. There's other ways of replacing it, but that's sort of the most intuitive, I hope. And then to add more text, you can sort of click the menu, say add me a subtitle or whatever, and just click on that and it will add it down there for you. So here I clicked add subtitle and it automatically highlighted the text to edit straight away, and you could just type in the subtitle. And you see that coming together as well. Look, presentation, subtitle. It just smartly lays it out. You don't have to be a graphic designer or look through a million Canva templates or this and that, or Keynote presentation. I saw such an amazing Keynote presentation, a YouTube video done in Keynote. The animation was just so beautiful. But I think Keynote is an expert design tool, and it's very easy to make ugly stuff if you're not a good designer. So this is what I'm trying to I'm trying to give you something to help you avoid making ugly stuff, right? By sort of imposing limitations and just trying to sort of have typographic opinions, alignment, and just kind of make it flow in a way that it shouldn't be able to get too ugly. But I do see people putting text on text still, but please stop doing that. But yeah, apart from that, there's a limit to what I can do, but at least I can sort of make it so that stuff lines up and looks neat, and it's not dragged accidentally off alignment and all that kind of stuff that happens in things like Keynote. But yeah, something I was just doing, you can add more images by dragging them in, or you can actually use copy and paste. So this is, I'm showing, if you just copy image and then go into the text field, you can literally just paste that in and it's going to appear. So here I've just pasted in 3 icons from the internet. And it'll just take it. You all these things that you might not think that it would work, but I made it work because it saves me so much time just not having to muck about. So just copy paste stuff in to CueCam and it should usually just take it. And you see that's all I've done here. It even took the file name from the copied file, and so that these file names look good. Just another note, if you want these cards to be readable, and you've got images, please just rename the image first and then drag it on, right? And then it's just going to look good. If your image is called some massive, long, confusing hash of numbers and letters, and you drag it onto the card, your cards are going to look all ugly, and it's going to be a bit more confusing to look at. But if you just name the image what it is, then you're going to, you're going to have a better time in CueCam, and it's just a good habit to be in. So you see, look here, if I show you my desktop over here, here's is that my desktop? What am I looking at here? What am I sharing here? My desktop is, have I shared the wrong desktop? Oh no, it's still showing the picture. I need to watch this. We shall do this here. Hide the slide so that you can see my desktop. Sorry, I was like, what? Because it looks almost identical to the slide that I'm showing. You see my images are called add-menu.mov. Adding text content.gif, add-menu.mov. Just call it something, and then when you drag it into CueCam, it's going to look right. So that's lower thirds, and then if you were just if you were doing a lower third and it sort of was the wrong layout, just all that's really doing is selecting. If we go up to the top here, all that's really doing is just selecting the card layout, lower third. Literally command 1 makes it a lower third. You can also make it an upper third. You can put it in the middle, you can put it over the shoulder, but it's upper, lower, it's the layout, and then it will just lay it out smartly for you. Right, the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is something so as I've been working through documentation, I like to I'd like to, before I continue, thank you, Neil. Looking forward to Thursday. Yes, I just made it back in time, but I think I'm sort of like on a bit of a weird vibration as a result of rushing. I tell you what, like pushing we had 23 kilos in the suitcase. We filled it to the limit, and like Edinburgh has some hills, and getting that up the hills sometimes, oof. It wasn't too bad coming out of town, but getting it to the tram to go to the airport to leave was, oof, that was heavy to push up the hill. Okay, so Jeremy's saying, so before I continue, I'll just see if I can answer this. Text fields that use variables can be populated by values like presentation _ name and the like. It's simpler than that, Jeremy. It's and thank you for joining, by the way. It's much simpler than that. Think of it just like a Twitter hashtag. Like you put a hash in front of it, and that makes it sort of highlighted. But in this case, it puts it into the slide. But when you add stuff through the menu, it's just going to like add in the text, plain text, and it's just going to select the text that you should edit. But you can still just edit anything. So yeah, it's. Oops, come on, Canon. Sometimes this is an Elgato prompter Canon fight, isn't it? Like I don't know if anyone else. Do you have this? Like, do you have your Canon your Elgato prompter hanging off a big lens on your camera? Because I think I don't know. I think it's causing my camera problems. Yeah. So it's not even, Jeremy. It's not even like these are placeholders and variables. It's literally I'm tagging text to appear on the slide. So think of it like that. Just tag the text and it does it. But I do see what you're asking there. Like, could we kind of automatically put some stuff in? I actually like each week increment my I rename the file, and then I have to remember to go down and change the applab number on the right card. So sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I should make that. But I think like it's sometimes it's just easier to get into a habit. It's sort of tempting to think of I did have a table of contents variable that would put the whole like the titles into your teleprompter so you could see what you're going to talk about, but it was getting a bit esoteric and a bit hard to use. Yeah, so there's not variables, but just tagged text is the way to think of it. Anyway, so next I wanted to talk about how to add quotations to slides. And that in the writing of this documentation, I finally gave it the lick of paint I wanted to give it so that it all looks very beautiful now. So you can add quotes using this quote option in the button, and that's going to give you the sort of standard markdown, sort of like, if you're used to markdown, just use markdown syntax. And I use the squiggly tilde or an M dash to separate attribution. So you see here I've run that, and we've got quotation dash attribution. That's on the right. I wish this is my placeholders, but this person should be sort of here really to make that look neat. And so you can change. So once you've added that on, so here I've got a few different quotes, and this is a lower third. So if it's a lower third, it's going to be down the bottom. It always seems impossible until it's done. This one is over the shoulder left, so it sort of takes up a bit more space vertically. But you see, like, doesn't that look cool? Like you can just throw a text, and like if you have even more text, it will just like shrink down to fit. You can have, but the next thing you might want to do, like if you are going to be throwing around quotes, probably want to add a citation. And to do that, you can use the caret, the actual caret syntax, caret for footnotes, which is sort of how Markdown kind of does it. But Markdown has a lot more sort of angle, bracket, exclamation mark. So I've just sort of like stripped out all the extra stuff and just gone, okay, image is exclamation mark, and just sort of made them all sort of take a bit less typing because we're not trying to create documents, we're just trying to create slides. Yeah, you can use the footnote syntax to get a footnote. So it's just to show you, how do I show you what that looks like? I'm just going to go back a slide. So this I pulled down from the website. So there's a picture on the website, but let me put that as a thing, and then you'll be able to see. Yeah, so the footnote syntax. So that's what footnote looks like. it's a caret and you write the footnote. And so then you get attribution footnote goes down the bottom left. And yeah, so in this case, I've got my middle title, every child begins the world, the attribution, and then down the bottom, I added the footnote so you can see quotations. Let's try focusing in on that. So quotation uses the angle bracket, and then if you want to add a citation, you can use the caret. So there it is, and then that is what makes, that's the quotation, and that is the, well, that's the quotation and that's the citation. So like, it's a good idea to put your sources up on screen. Bit annoying, a lot of RSI if you're having to sort of add stuff to slides all the time, but this way you can just like quickly grab it, find it. If you want to label your footnotes, so you have more than one, you can actually use a little, let me put this up, so you can use that in front of the attribute, like sort of, let's put this like that. So if you put a number in front of it, then it's going to like put a little superscript number, and that's going to look like this. So can we try and zoom in? So you see, we've put a little caret 1 there, and then a caret 1 there, and then that means that now you get a little 1 there and a little 1 there. So if you had more, you could have more. And so that is quotations. And so I hope, like, when you're putting your quotes on screen, you can obviously, like, you can put like a background, get ChatGPT to generate you or like DALL-E to generate you a psychedelic background for your quote, get ChatGPT to give you 10 quotes, record that as a video. You've got yourself an SEO content farm, which I do not recommend. Right, listen, that's me today. Have you got any thoughts? Have you got any questions? Oh, speaking of comments, maybe you noticed, am I going to jump into that quickly? I just wanted to just quickly show you, because that was on that last slide. If we do come back to this one, was it this one or was it this one? Yeah, so you see up here, another thing you can do with the tag. So most of the tagging of text will sort of create stuff that appears in the slide, but you've also got this special comment syntax. And so that's if you want to put a note to someone else or to yourself. It's not going to show up in your teleprompter. It's not going to show up in the card. But if you want to say, oh, to do, fill in this, put 2 little things, and that's a comment. So that's just another little handy thing that you can do from the coding world. Right, so if there are not questions, I'm going to say, oh, I hear something. I hear the question noise. I see Tony saying, always informative. Thank you, Michael. Oh, let's put it on the screen. It's going to clash, but oh, no, it didn't. No, it sort of did. Yeah, this was just a basic introduction to what it's about, how I think about it, how I try to get it. Really, like, I'm trying to give you the ability to have writer's flow when you're preparing your content, rather than getting RSI and doing a load of design stuff. Just think about what you want to say, put it together. If you want to embellish it with stuff on screen, you don't have to take your hands off the keyboard, and that is something I really love. So there we go. Here is where we hang out when I'm on a plane, squares.tv/discord. You can email me, michael@squares.tv. Squares.tv is my domain that I bought in 2014 for my club night. Lorenzo says, thanks a lot, Michael. I love Wednesdays. Thank you, Lorenzo. I really appreciate it. To play us out, oops, let's come back. Let's come back one, because I've jumped ahead. To play us out, something I did in 2009 is this real-time processing sketch. 2009, so 14 years ago. I did this sort of like little real-time processing sketch. So this is sort of some code that I made. So you see, I just wanted to sort of show you a little bit of what's going on here. So this is processing. So you have a setup function and you have a draw function. So setup is like prepare everything. Draw is 60 times a second, like update the screen. So I draw a scene every frame, and then what do I do in here? I'm basically like, this is a MIDI thing so that I can play my keyboard and it can receive the MIDI messages and react accordingly. So that's what's going on. Like, I'm playing the piano, I'm playing the keyboard, I'm playing stuff, and it is creating this scene with like these little petals and flowers and things in it. And like, I've got functions like add some petals to the flower. And then this again, like this is the draw. So we sort of do some stuff, tint it, draw it, pop, update, blah, 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 do some stuff there. So this is all, like code to put graphics on the screen as I improvise music live. I found the video and I was just like, I'm just going to put some, I did remaster it yesterday for 2024. So this is a slightly remastered version of it. It's still like rough, but, and it's, I don't know about the, I think the sync could be better, but it is what it is. It's 14 years old, but I just thought it was kind of cool. So this is going to play us out. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I apologize for my green screen. Literally, I don't know where I saved the background graphic that I've been using. I couldn't find it. So, and I took it off because I was doing some other stuff, and I don't know where I put the background graphic. I need to find it again or just film it again. Simple as that. So we're on the green screen. I should just turn it around again. But like, that's a shame because I can't be like fun picture in picture. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope this wasn't too fractured and chaotic. 45 minutes. I don't know how I'd fill this time every week. Thank you so much for joining me. And here is a little improvisation from 2009. Enjoy. Bye. I'm probably still going to be there. Clearly we're missing some keyframes in that video file. So I think that's going to be it. Sorry about that. You can find it on Facebook if you're really interested. Ciao.